Hi, I'm Lisa, a children's librarian at the Watauga County Public Library, part of the Appalachian Regional Library System. And today I just wanted to talk to you about some of the extension activities that we do when we present a letter D story time here at the library or as outreach into daycare centers and school classrooms, pre-K and kindergarten classrooms in our county. So we always start a letter story time by talking about the shape and sound of the focus letter of the day, and then we give children clues to create a puzzle. So this wouldn't all be on the board. You'd be holding those pieces and giving them clues like, I'm thinking of something that starts with D, D, D. And it's something I like to eat for breakfast, and it's round. And the children might say, oh, I think it's a pancake. And you could say, oh, I do like to eat pancakes for breakfast. But because I'm thinking, if pancakes started with the sound of letter D, 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 that would make it be Dan cakes. And I don't have a picture of a Dan cake. So that way you get to talk about the phonological aspects of letters and how they represent sounds. So, and you get to do it in a fun way. So after the children have guessed, and actually if they can't guess, or if the crowd you're working with is very young, you can just show them the picture of the puzzle, say, what's this a picture of? Picture of a dog, dog, and then put the puzzle piece on the board. So after you've created the puzzle, either in uppercase or lowercase form, then we usually sing a song to go along with the puzzle and create actions to go along with our verses, because music and actions are so important for children's, just to create other pathways to get into the brains of the children. So the song sound goes like this. We are learning letter D, letter D, letter D. We are learning letter D, 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 D. And we flap our wings like a duck because in the county that we live in, the children in the schools are using the Letterland curriculum, and that is the action symbol that goes along with letter D for Letterland. So we want to work with the schools in whatever ways we can to reinforce what the kids are learning there or what they're going to learn when they get there. So then after singing that, you're going to sing a song for each picture on the board, and you're going to come up with an action. Either you come up with an action, or if you can't think of one, ask the children, because when they think of the action, it means more to them. They have more ownership of this process. So maybe for dandelion, I would say to the children, what do you want to do for our action for the dandelion? Do you want to get down and pick dandelions? Do you want to blow dandelions? Whatever they choose, and they may come up with something totally different, then you do that as your next verse. So maybe we want to blow the dandelions. Dandelion starts with letter D, letter D, letter D. Dandelion starts with letter D, 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 D. And you're going to try to say D, not duh. But anyway, then after you have, and if any children's names start with letter D, ask them if you could sing Daniel starts with letter D, and you could just point to that child. After we've done the puzzles, then we usually read a book that has a letter D in the title that the children can point to and recognize, and then we go on to an extension activity that also has the letter D as a focal point. So one of the extension activities we have includes doors, because doors starts with letter D, and the magical part about these doors is that you're holding a flannel, clip art piece behind the door, and the children don't really notice that when you're putting the doors on your board. And then you're going to have the children repeat with you, dinosaur, dinosaur, stomp and roar. Are you hiding behind the green door? And of course, you'd have a lot more dialogue in story time with this than I'm having. But then you'll either take the door off or let the children take the door off. And yes, there's a dinosaur hiding behind the door. And they usually want to know, how did that dinosaur get there? And then same thing, are you hiding behind the yellow door? And there's another dinosaur, because I believe in having a dinosaur hidden behind every door. So then you would read another book and then have another extension activity that focuses on letter D. So in our Storytime kits, we've created a whole tip sheet on extension activity ideas. So another idea for a letter D story time. We kind of tweaked a song that Jayberry does, which is spots, 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 and we changed it to dots, dots, dots. And what we'll do is have the children stand in in a story time, you just have the caregiver and the child do this. But in a school setting where you might have 15 kids, you can have the children sit in a circle and then turn so each child is facing the back of the child in front of them. And then as you sing this song, they're just going to poke gently on the back of the child in front of them. Dots, 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 dots. The leopard has lots of dots. What a lot of dots he's got. The tiger stripes are always nice, but leopards have lots of dots, 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 dots. Tickle, 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 tickle. You tickle each child will tickle the neck of the child in front of them. They love this, and you do it a couple times, then turn around and do it to their friend who was sitting behind them. So then you would read another book, and then obviously also you wouldn't do all these extension activities. These are just activities to choose from for the storytime provider. So another one is Ducks in the Pond, and you would sing like this. The ducks in the pond go quack, 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 quack. The ducks in the pond go quack, quack, quack all day long. And then there's other verses that don't have the D in it, but you would say what word started with letter D in the first verse of our song. And then you go on to the owls in the tree say hoo, 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 and the robins in the nest go tweet, 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 and the rooster on the farm goes cock-a-doodle-doo, and ask the children what kind of action would they like to do for that rooster. Another extension activity is Dance, Freeze, Melt. And with this one, it's on the Learning Groove, Eric Litwin, Rocking Red. And you're just going to get the children dancing, and then you're counting while they're dancing. Dance, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And freeze, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and melt, 2, 3, down to 8 on the ground. And what we like to do with this song is use every verse be a word that starts with letter D. So you might have them dig, drive, drink, drop things, act like a dinosaur, act like a duck, eat a donut. So those would be all things to do. And definitely whisper when you get to the freeze part. After you say freeze, whisper the numbers, because that helps to bring them down from whatever raucous activity they were just doing. You could also do yoga poses for a letter D story time. And then there is another, I don't have this as another storytime provider told me about, down around the corner at the bakery shop, there were 5 yummy donuts with sprinkles on top. Along came a dog with $1 or a dime to pay. She buys a donut and takes it away. So you'd have those donuts on the board and take one away. You could give the children pretend dollars or dimes, and they could come up. You could have more than 5 donuts. But she did it where she laminated pictures of animals that started with a D. So she had a dog and a deer and a dragonfly and forget what else she had. But that's something else, another activity that you could think of and prepare. And another thing you could try is the story in a dark, dark wood. And there's many variations on that, and you could look those up on YouTube. But those would be all things to choose from as extension activities for a letter D story time. And I meant to tell you that along with when you're introducing the letter, because our county uses Letterland, you could use these Letterland flashcards, and they have handwriting songs that go along with these. So especially for the lowercase d, lowercase b, that might be a good time to talk about the shape of the letters. And I believe the handwriting song for this is draw Dippy Duck's back, go round his tum, up to his head, then down you come. So that might be something to incorporate as a part of an extension activity. Also, to help children remember which way the B and the D go, have them make the 2 letters so it looks as if they're forming a bed with the circles to the letters in the middle. And then that this might be a clue for them that B, D, that's the B and that's the D. and another resource for letter shapes and songs that go along with forming the shape of a letter. The Heidi Songs Letter and Sounds DVD is a great resource. I would highly recommend having this in your library for parents to check out. So those are some ideas for extension activities. We also end our story time. Usually I have my friend hidden away in a bag and ask the children to guess. I brought a friend with me today, and he starts with the letter D, and they guess all kinds of different things, and I'll say, oh, that's a good idea. But that's not what I brought. And maybe they'll think of donkey, maybe they won't, but I'll bring my donkey out of the bag. The donkey will come around to each child, and they will say to the donkey, D says D in donkey. And he's so excited, and he might even give them a little nuzzle on their neck for saying that correctly. Then they might want to feed the donkey something that starts with the letter D. It might even be Doritos. It might be daisies. But I think the touch of the children getting to pet the puppet and the puppet getting to come around to them, that's just one more thing that helps them remember this letter D story time and the sound that letter D makes. After the puppet has come around, puppet or stuffed animal or whatever item that you've brought that starts with letter D, you might come around to each child and stamp their hand or their arm, or sometimes they want me to stamp their leg. Sometimes they want me to stamp their head, which I do not do. But that's a way for, especially if they work in a school, that when they went home, that whatever grown-up is in their life could say, what's that on your hand? And then the child could say, oh yeah, we had a letter D story time. As a matter of fact, it might remind them to get a letter D bookmark out of their backpack. So this is something we do more in the daycare centers or here at the library. We have created bookmarks that the children can take home, little game on the back, craft ideas, and an invitation to come back to the library on a Saturday, especially like if the children are in daycare. That would be the only chance that they would have to come to the library. So I hope that these extension activities are helpful for you. If you have some other ideas, leave those ideas in the comments, because that would make this a richer resource for anybody else who stumbles across this video. So that's all I've got for today. In the words of Tigger, ta-ta for now.